In this video, we're going to be talking about the question, how could a relational God send people to hell? Interesting question, and here we go. And my name is Charles Yerkes. Thank you for joining me. Now, I think before we get too far into this, we need to remember something very important. We need to remember what it means for God to be a relational God. I mean, if we don't do that, I don't see how we're going to be on a path that will take us anywhere close to an answer. So what does it mean for God to be a relational God? Now, we talked about that in one of our other videos, and I'll link to that in the description box below. But it means simply that He wants to be in a relationship with us. He wants us to love Him and enter into a relationship that grows in love. Now, in order for that to happen, it also means that He had to give us a choice. The choice to either love or to not love. The choice to accept His love and love Him in return, or to reject His love and want nothing to do with Him. That is our great choice, and that was His great risk. It was a risk of being rejected by those He loves. You, me, everyone. And because He wants us to love and enter into a relationship with Him, I find something in Psalms 9 to be very intriguing. See, in Psalms 9, it talks about the judgments of God being made out of fairness because He is loyal to His people. He makes His judgments out of fairness because He is loyal to those He loves, even when they don't choose to love Him in return. So, out of fairness, how would it be right to force somebody into a relationship with Him? How would it be right to force somebody? How would it be right for Him to force someone to be in His presence all day, every day, when they have chosen not to love? Well, let's take something from daily life, okay? Would it be fair for you to force somebody into a relationship with you if they wanted nothing to do with you? Would it be fair for you to force somebody into your presence to keep them with you all day, every day, if they wanted nothing to do with you? Say by locking them in your house, making it impossible for them to escape you or your house, so they had to deal with you all the time. That wouldn't be fair. Indeed, we would think that that's something far worse than being unfair. So how could a relational God force you to do something that we wouldn't even force somebody else to do? I mean, perhaps a better question, rather than asking how could a relational God force someone to go to hell, perhaps a better question would be, how could a relational God, one who judges in fairness and loyalty, one who honors our choices to love or to not love, how could such a relational God then force you to be where you don't want to be? How could He then force you to be in His presence once you've rejected a relationship with Him, once you've decided you don't want anything to do with Him, which is your choice? But how could a relational God go against your choice and force you to be where you don't want to be? And, in all honesty, reduced down to their most basic sense, their most basic meaning, that is all heaven and hell truly are. Heaven is being in the presence of God, where God is. And hell is simply being where God is not. So, would God force somebody to be where they don't want to be in His presence, forced to relate to Him, having their choice, their ability to love, taken away? That is the question. And so, it would seem that this is not so much a case of God sending people to hell as it is God ensuring that the people He loves end up at the destination of their choice. And here, it is the destination of the place where He is not, because that is what they wanted. An interesting answer, is it not? Tell me what you think in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you like this video, please click that like and the subscribe button. And once you click the subscribe button, make sure to tag that little gray bell icon that pops up and tell YouTube that you want to be notified each time a new video is posted. And for your convenience, I'm going to list some passages, scripture passages below that tie into this subject I think you might find interesting. There's a quote from a gentleman called G.K. Chesterton that you might find interesting. And I'm even going to include a resource below, the book, The Reason for God by Timothy Keller. It's an amazing book, and his chapter on this topic has tons of information, a lot more than I had time to go over in this little video. It comes from a slightly different perspective, but that's okay. It's easy to read, has full of information. It's a winning combination. Now, complete transparency, the link below for the book is an Amazon affiliate link, which means that if you choose to use that link to get your resource, I do get a little something from Amazon for that, at no additional cost to you. That costs you nothing to use the link. It just helps me out a little bit. And every little bit does help. Thank you. And I'll catch you next time.